Good morning, everybody. This is Shelly. We are at the Grand Tetons National Park. This is our first morning, and we're going to do some yoga today. I wrote this flow. This is my first attempt at a flow. I'm calling this the Mountain Flow. So enjoy. All right. Start by laying down in Shavasana. Stretch long until you're comfortable and take several deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose. Stretch your legs and arms long. Stretch everything to the right and pull to make a banana shape. You can cross your left leg over your right leg and pull your arm over. And then switch sides and pull everything to banana asana to the left. A few breaths in each. And then bring your legs in, and we're going to do bridge. Rolling bridges as you inhale, lift your hips up. As you exhale, bring your hips down. And you can choose to use your arms in unison while you do this. Stretch each leg up. And then both legs up. Now we're going to curl our legs together and our arms together for eagle crunches. We're going to do first the right side, then the left side, 15 times each. Squeeze all the way in to touch your elbows to your knees, and then squeeze all the way out until your ankles touch the mat and your arms touch the mat behind you. All right, release. Wrap the other side, and we're going to do the left hand side or the opposite side. Crunch in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crunch in on your exhale. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Reach your legs out and tap your feet around. We're going to roll back and forth until we roll onto hands and knees. A few cat-cows. Inhale, look up. Exhale, do cow. Roll your head side to side and just get out all of the kinks. This should feel really good. Now we're going to sit up onto our knees into hero's pose and salute the sun from our knees. Lean to the right, up, lean to the left, up. Now you can bind your hands behind you and do a slight back bend. Now tuck your toes, and we're going to go into toe stand. Breath. This is a great place to do some neck rolls. all the way around. Out. Do some side twists. It's just getting our spine ready. Release the toes and tap them out. Alright, now legs sitting up, and I'm going to do a forward fold sitting down. Up. And rock back and forth, and we're going to come all the way to standing. All the way up. Continue to do side stretches, stretch our arms to either side, and now we shake. Shake everything out. Get all of our joints ready. You can do big hip circles, you could do figure eights or side to side, all the way around. This just gets us ready to move. So take a minute and just get all the kinks out. Arms and legs, head. And back to Tadasana. We're going to do one more forward fold before we get started. Stretch to the side. You can bend one leg and then the other. Let's do Padahastasana. Your hands are under your feet. Reach down, pull down. You can bend your knees if you need to. It's a little early in the practice. Come back up. All the way back up to mountain pose. Feet hip width distance apart. Look up, hands out, and standing tall. Breaths. I'm going to chair. A few breaths here in chair pose. Do some leg lifts. First the right, then the left. You can alternate your arms. We're keeping our legs bent to stay in chair, seated position. This is just to get some heat going. You can go deeper on your exhalation. In. Right leg standing. And back into Warrior 3. It's okay if you fall. Warrior 3, we're going to go into Crescent. Take a few breaths in Crescent, hold. We're going to transition this crescent. We're going to take it from crescent into thunderbolt and push up to forward for 3 breaths. And you can move your arms back and forth. 2, 3, and we're moving it into side angle. Take a minute to get your feet in alignment, your hand. You can either rest your hand on the ground or on your leg. And it's nice to move your top arm around. We're making a firm line from our foot to our arm. Then we're moving to Warrior 2.
switch feet, switch to the opposite side, warrior two, exalted, and flow your own way. And that is our first flow. We did this on the right side, and now we're going to come back and do it on the left. You're going to be facing the opposite side of the mat, so take a few moments in downward dog, and then transition to the top. Flipping around. Forward fold, and all the way up to Tadasana. All right, second side. Mountain pose. Hold this for a few breaths. Stretch your neck out. And chair pose. Do our leg lifts. Hold for a moment. Now, starting with the left leg, right leg. Alternate legs on each side. With your left leg standing, go into warrior three. We're going to hold this for a few breaths. 2, 3, and land into crescent warrior. Hold this crescent, standing straight up. Get your balance, get your footing. And remember, we're going to go from crescent into thunderbolt. And forward. We've got 3 counts of thunderbolt. You're leaning all the way forward, with your back leg lifted. Move your arms with your breath. And transition into side angle. Take a moment to get situated. If you have your hand on the floor, press your hand into your leg. You can circle your top arm around. Come up to warrior two. Hold this for a few breaths. And then we're going to switch to the back of the mat, warrior two. And then exalted. Flow your own way. Back into downward dog and either hold downward dog, or you could also do child's pose. Remember, we're at the back of the mat, so we're going to transition back to the front of the mat. Turn back around. This is a good time you can lift each leg. Open your hips, bring your leg back, then the other leg. Feels really good to stretch everything out. Your dog, and then back up, jump to the front of the mat, fold, and all the way up. All right, standing in Tadasana, we're going to do round 2. We're going to be adding on a little bit to this flow. So same basic sequence. So coming into chair, hold this for a few breaths, look up, bend your knees down, hands to prayer, and we're going to twist to the right. Catch your arm. Now if you want, you can stay right here, or you can pick up your left foot and shoot the leg back. We're going to do both sides. Come to center with your arms. Twist to the right. And bring your leg back. Cut back. Bring your left leg, shoot your left leg straight back. Warrior 3. A few breaths. You can alternate your arms from hands at heart to arms at side, or even arms in front of you. And we're going to transition this into half moon. It's okay okay to be wobbly and fall. A few breaths in half moon. We're going to transition this to flying warrior, and then back into warrior 2, and then crescent. Catch your breath, catch your footing, and then into thunderbolt. 2, 3, push your arms forward. 4, and then transition into side angle. Strong line. You can bind on this one if you'd like, bringing your arm under your leg and reaching around to clasp the other arm behind your back. Looking up. Hold for a few breaths. Looking down, come back to side angle, and then transition to side plank. You can lift your leg if you'd like, or stay in side plank, or put a knee down for modification. One more breath, and transition your foot back to the front, and we're going to go straight into lizard. So your foot is going to be a little bit further to the side of the mat, and we're going to flow between lizard and pyramid pose. Back to lizard. You can put your forearms down, sink into the pose, put your back knee down, whatever feels good. We're going to be coming back to this pose again. A few more breaths. And then work your way back up. Fall back into half split, just to get the stretch in the front leg. Come back into lizard. Now this is a good time to go, we're going to go back and forth from the mat. So backwards to forwards, just to work the hips out a little bit. And then back to the front of the mat. And come into warrior 2. Hold for a few breaths. And up to the center, and warrior 2 to the back of the mat. Exalted warrior, and flow your own way. You can choose to transition back to the front of the mat at this time. And downward dog. Pedal out your dog. And jump to the front of the mat. Forward fold, and then come all the way up. Going straight into the second side. Going into chair pose. We're going to do the same thing where we bring our hands into prayer and twist to the right. Catch your elbow on your knee. And then you can have the option to lifting your other leg and extending it out behind you. Come back to center. Bring your arms up, still staying in chair, and twist to the opposite side. Bring your leg up. Kick it out. And back. You're going to come to center and come all the way up into warrior 3. Hold for a few breaths and then open your hips to transition into half moon. Really engage the legs, and you can touch down at the bottom of the floor and challenge your balance by looking up and meet in crescent warrior. Crescent, you can do a back bend here. Hands to heart, and then we're going to flow into our thunderbolt. 5 rounds, and then meet in side angle. This one, if you want to work on a bind or come up into Bird of Paradise, there's time, or you can hold right where you are. Moving into side plank. Hold. And then if we can lift your leg, you can, and bring it to the front of the mat into lizard. Lizard will be holding for a few breaths. You can come down to forearms. Really stretch out the hips. And this one, your front leg the foot is wider on the mat, so you have more room. It's a good place to also stretch your neck. We're going to go back and forth between coming back and stretching out for half split, and then going back into lizard. We'll do that. Now this is kind of fun. Run to the front and then the back of your mat. This just helps open up your hips. Back to the front. You'll be in that lizard pose. We're going to transition this into Warrior 2. Come on up. Warrior 2, we're going to hold for a few breaths. Come to center. We're going to flip to the back of the mat. So Warrior 2 to the back of the mat. Hold. Come back to center. Warrior 2 to the front. Exalted Warrior. And then flow your own way. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. You can do downward dog here for 3 to 5 breaths, or child's pose. Get some water. We're going to move to our round 3. So come stand into Tadasana. Mountain pose. Catch your breath. Lift your arms straight up. Look up. Now bend into chair. We're going to hold chair. This one we're going to come down further. So sit down, down, down. You can come up onto your toes. Reach far forward as you can. You can transition your arms from the front to the back. Really challenging the balance. Come back into chair and transition all the weight into your right foot, and we're going to come into half moon. So this half moon, if Shavasana is in your practice, you can grab your lifted leg and you can look up. Look down for balance. We're going to transition into flying warrior. All right. And then land in crescent. Transition, flow between crescent and thunderbolt. We're going to do this 3 to 5 times. Then meet in side angle. This time we're going to bind, if that's in your practice, and come up into Bird of Paradise. Take your time, find a point to look at that's not moving, and then lift the leg all the way up. All right, birds, meet us back in side angle. Fully extended. We're going to come into side plank. On this one, we're going to do some arm lifts, some crunches. And do 5. And if it's in your practice, to lift the leg and bring it into lizard. This one we're not going to hold. We're going to go back and forth between a pyramid and a lizard. 2. Okay. We'll come back into lizard. If it's in your practice, we're going to do an arm balance and then flow back. If it's not, you can just hold lizard and then come into downward dog. Feels really great to walk out your dog. Lift your right leg up, crunch side to your left, and then to pigeon. Make sure your back leg is straight and come up for a breath, and then we're going to come all the way down and hold. Just focus on your breath. We'll hold for 5 to 10 breaths. All right, work your way back up, stretch, and then kick back up into downward dog and stretch that leg out. And then from there, come into warrior 2. We're going to come up to the center and then warrior 2 to the back of the mat. Flexing your palms feels nice, bring it up to the front. Warrior 2. And then flow your own way. We're going to do some frog kicks. If handstand is in your practice, this is a great time to get upside down. Or the frog kicks are good to get there. Now we're going to jump to the front of the mat, bow, and come all the way up. Salute the sun. Hands to heart. We're going to come into chair. Hands all the way up. Look up. And then chair pose. All right. This one we're going to do the same as the last time. So come down as far as you can and up on your toes. Arms forward. All right, release. Move all of the weight into the left leg and come into warrior 3. Kick that leg back. You can either keep hands at heart or push them forward. You may fall like me. And then half moon. get your bearings first, and if Shavasana is in your practice and you did it on the last side, Shavasana. Look up, release, and come into Flying Warrior, and then transition from there into Crescent. Feels good to stretch all the way up. Hold for a few breaths, and then we're going to go from Crescent into Thunderbolt. So just roll from our back bend into Thunderbolt. 5 rounds. 5. Okay, moving into side angle. If you did the bind and worked your way into Bird of Paradise, repeat that on this side. Bring your foot up and then lift up. You can also stay right where you are in side angle. Left leg all the way to the top. Birds come down. And then back into side plank. We're going to do the arm lifts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then come into lizard. Transition back and forth. Lizard to pyramid pose. So 1, and come back to pyramid, and into lizard, back to pyramid, to lizard, and we're going to move into the arm balance. So really getting your arm underneath your leg, and then you fly your feet. Come back, flow into downward dog. Gonna lift our left leg to our left arm, to our right elbow. Do a crunch. Back to the right. Back to the left, then come into pigeon on the left side. Take a moment to check your leg and stretch up, and then come all the way down for 5 to 10 breaths. And let everything melt into the floor. All right, bring it back up. Take a moment to get kicked back into downward dog, and then we're going to be coming into Warrior 2. Warrior 2 to the front of the mat. And just like last time, we're going to flow to the center, up, and then flip to the back of the mat. Warrior 2 for 2 breaths. Flip to the front. Exalted Warrior, and flow your own way. Meet back in downward dog, and then child's pose. You're going to stay in child's pose for 10 breaths. right, we're going to come up a little bit and take your arms all the way to the right for a side stretch. Back to center, and then all the way to the left, and back down into child's. Stretch the opposite side. Come back to front, and then we're going to come into tabletop, do some cat-cows. You really roll everything out. Move to your breath. You're going to bring your right arm and thread the needle. You can bring your opposite arm, your left arm around your back. You can extend your left leg if that feels good. This really gets into our shoulders and our back. You can also move your left arm over your head. Okay. Come reverse our steps and come back into table. A few cat-cows. Then we're going to thread the needle on the other side. So left side, thread the needle through. And all of the options are available on this side. Hold for 3 to 4 breaths. Up, reverse your steps, come back into table. And then we're going to come all the way down. Arms out like cactus. You're facing the mat. Roll to the side for a shoulder stretch. We're going to do both sides. So get your left arm into a cactus shape and then roll to the side. Hold for a few breaths. Press up and come to a seat. So first we're going to sit in butterfly pose. Stretch our neck back out. You can do neck rolls from left to right. We're going to do wide-legged stretch. So bring your right leg in, and we're going to stretch to the left. Release the leg. And stretch down to the center. Forward facing forward fold. Now we're going to left leg in and stretch to the right. Now come and lie on your back. We're going to do 2 rounds of bridge. So press your heels down and lift your hips up. We're going to hold this for 5 breaths. And we'll come down. And coming into the second round. This round you can play around with lifting one leg at a time, coming into fire log pose. Keep your hips lifting up the entire time. And come back down. Windshield wiper your knees from left to right. And then we're going to rock back up into shoulder stand. You can play with alternating the legs down to the forehead, knees down to the forehead. Then if plow is in your practice, back to plow. An alternative for all of this would be legs up a wall or hips on a block with legs up. Now come down and we're going to meet in Shavasana to end our practice. Adjust until you can lay still and relax every part of your body. Your head to your jaw, to your arms, to your shoulders, to your hips, to your knees, to your toes. Start to come back. Gently wiggle your toes, your fingertips, and start to come back to the room. You can roll to one side and just take your time. We'll meet in seated. Namaste.